The life force of your bond. A power like life itself. Unseen for generations. A dyad in the force.
Fantastic, terrific, great. Got some really cool things in the works, and so hopefully we'll be able to talk about them soon. But yeah, it's actually things are picking up. But we also have a guest, first time on Dyad. I had her on the high ground, and it's just been far too long. I always appreciate your additions, Becca, but. If you want to introduce yourself and tell us where we can find your awesome content, and yeah, how are you doing today? Oh, there might be some significant.
I'm good.
Oh.
Thanks for having me. You can find me on TikTok at Becca Shea. You can also follow my podcast that I have with my friend Kels, The Queer Ascendancy, on TikTok and Twitter.
Awesome. We love Kels.
Awesome.
Is there any chance that you are on your way to Celebration London?
Unfortunately not. Hopefully someday I'll be able to go, but I know Kels is going and I'm very jealous.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that still want to go. By the way, for folks watching live, we are experiencing some latency with our guest, Becca. So don't worry, the silence is purposeful. We haven't run out of things to say. So shout out to Jackson, Obi-Wan, Marciali, Marianne. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's see, Marciali says, where's my Darth Choco schmexy like chocolate strawberry? Sorry, chat mod.
I don't even. I gotta go.
Do you know this person?
That username is not ringing any bells, so I assume so.
Seems you have a fan.
But yeah,
At least
I mean,
one
it
fan
ain't the
out
first
there.
time I've been called Smexy.
I do have a video of Choco's OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, oh no.
It would be weird
Oh,
if I
no.
had that queued
You've been
up.
exposed.
Exactly. But it is an iconic video of yours. I should probably make that an insert at some point. Just imagine this, but Choco.
Cassian Ender.
Okay. So, thank you for joining us, Becca. As an icebreaker game, we're introducing this for the first time, thanks to Choco, and we may expand upon it a little bit further as we play it more. But we're gonna play a game of Who Am I? Now, this is where you choose a character, you do not reveal it, and you say 3 true statements about them, followed by Who am I? And we'll have to guess. So we'll give you some time to think about it, and we'll start with Choco first.
Okay. All right. So the question is, who am I? I'm a very snappy dresser. I guess that would fall under the same category. I'm known to rock some facial hair. And let's see. I'm extremely well known in the galaxy.
Oh, Marcelli.
I
is
definitely
no
know the
Lando.
answer.
Go for it, Becca.
Lando?
I'm not Lando.
That was my guess too. Okay. Okay.
Oh no.
Snappy dresser. You know to have a beard, right?
I'm known to rock facial hair. Yeah.
Facial hair. And then you're known across the galaxy?
Yes.
Master
Also, what's up?
Codebreaker?
What's up, Lone Mando? Hadn't seen you in a minute, so nice to see you're still doing well. I already followed you. No, not the Codebreaker. He was also known as a poet with a blaster.
This is interesting. Everybody in the chat said Lando. Ooh, that's a good guess.
Han Solo?
Definitely not Han Solo.
I'll throw in a
But-
guess from the chat. Obi-Shan says Count Dooku.
I am Count Dooku. Obi-Shan got it.
And pajamas don't count as snappy
okay.
dressing.
But he's full of drip. You know, I was even gonna say I wear a lot of capes, and that's what the thing was like. Oh, that'd be redundant. But yeah, my goal was to make you say Lando, even though I was Dooku. So
Right. Well, congratulations to Obi-Shan, Youngling, and Marcelli for getting that. See, Young even says Dooku. Oh, Young says Dooku dresses well. I don't think you don't put a cape on and suddenly you dress well.
no, look at what he is. He does not dress like a Jedi. He's a fancy boy. All right?
He wears a shirt.
He's a fashion
trousers.
icon.
Out of all the things that he wears, like in Tales of the Jedi and the Clone Wars, it's either pajamas or a tunic, trousers, and cape. Even in the
Yeah,
comics,
that's valid.
It is valid.
Disagree, but we'll have to. I'll put together some fashion swatches for you. I don't even know what you call it. I'll make a Pinterest board of Count Dooku, and so you can see the drip.
Okay.
Yes.
But by comparison to the drab, normally Jedi clothing, very different.
All right.
But Pep, who are you?
You can find me on Tatooine. I have once worked on an N1 starfighter. And my droid seldom breaks down. Who am I?
Ugh.
Your droid.
I have to think about this one.
Seldom breaks down. I mean, my initial instinct would be to say Pelimoto.
No, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I was trying to mix it up between Anakin, even Watto, but yeah.
Okay, my bad.
All right.
I was thinking maybe Anakin. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be tricky, trying to be mean about it, but Becca, do you have a character?
yes. I even wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. I am a strategist. I'm in the military, and I have been on an Imperial Star Destroyer.
That's everyone in the Empire. Hold on.
I have a specific person in mind.
Hold on. Can you say that again?
I mean, I have my guess, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
let someone else go first.
I am a strategist. I am in the military, and I have been on an Imperial Star Destroyer.
I mean, I feel like that's at least 6 people. let's go with wait, hold on.
I mean, we have a guest in the chat.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the chat until Okay, I'm just gonna say Tarkin.
No.
I knew it.
All right. First one in the chat, which was also my guess, is Thrawn.
No.
That would have been my second guess. But it's so... He's in the military, he's a strategist. And he's
No one said he. Not
Oh,
to my
well,
recollection.
But the thing that jumps out at me is that I've been on a Star Destroyer.
Yes.
But like if we're talking about military in the Empire, they're always. So I'm wondering if there's
no
like
one said Empire. This could even be Harris and Dula.
Yeah. It could be anything.
Is
No,
it?
it's not.
Okay. I was like, you still gonna.
I am
That lag.
I'm a strategist. I'm military. I've been on a Star Destroyer.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Nope.
This is tough. Are we making a distinction between Imperial Star Destroyer or First Order?
Imperial.
I was like, that's a good quiz. Nope, doesn't narrow it down at all. All right. Okay, so since we haven't gotten it, Pat, would you like us to modify it to where we can ask questions for yes or no answers?
Yeah, sure. It's a fun game right now. I mean, we don't have to be strict about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now we're just like shooting into the dark. You know what I mean?
I did make this very hard.
Okay, but I do have. Am I Ray Sloan?
No.
Okay. Gallius Rax. Okay.
Wait, is it Rex?
No.
All right. So to narrow it
No.
down, am I male, or are you male, or is the person?
No.
Okay.
Ooh.
Are they human?
Humanoid. So yes and no.
Wow, this is tough.
Admiral Aralani.
Yes.
Yes.
Had to give that chess representation.
I
That's
figured
good.
it was going to be HS somewhere.
Which
That was
is,
a good one. That was a good one.
It, was, it,
Maybe
it
dig
threw
deep.
us
Thrawn's
off
too
too.
easy, so
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
to pick something harder.
It threw us off because it wasn't Thrawn, so I wasn't, and then I immediately just kind of shut off the chiss possibilities. Okay, right on. Let's move on to some announcements. Any announcements?
None that I can give at the moment. But you know what? In the world of Star Wars comics, we are getting a new run from now I can't remember her name. The one that caused the controversy when she introduced herself as Han's wife.
Sana Staros?
Sana Staros is getting a Marvel #1 that I'm definitely interested in jumping into. And then I also found out that we are getting some more Boosh in the upcoming Afra.
You call him Boosh?
Boosh.
It just made me think of Boosh, Skadoosh. Right on. Becca, do you have any announcements you want to share? Anything like for content wise, or for Queer Ascendancy, anything like that?
The Queer Ascendancy, we don't post every week, but Kels and I are working on an episode in February, so you can look forward to a new episode sometime in February.
Awesome. Well, unless anybody else has any other announcements, that is it for our announcements, because I don't have anything. So we can go straight into the Bad Batch, episode 5, Entombed. Oh, by the way, for anyone who is wondering, our game of Real Fans Would Know, and you can click the link in the chat on top of the chat that's pinned to join our call when we get to that segment. The winner of Real Fans Would Know will get this celebration exclusive poster for the Bad Batch.
Ooh, it's pretty.
So if ever you wanted to call in and participate in Real Fans Would Know, now's the time, because it's the Bad Batch time. Guess who's back, Choco?
Bad Batch back.
Young says grabby hands. Marion says, I have no more room on my walls, which is exactly why I'm giving this away.
Get a bigger house.
Obi-Sean
Easy. Just get a bigger house.
Obi-Sean Fancast, DeWanda Wise or Lashana Lynch as Sana Staros. I don't know who I would cast as Sana right now. I think the most immediate
I could say Lashana Lynch.
I think the most immediate thing that's going to come to everyone's mind is Denai Guerrera.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah.
Well, okay. We have to make sure we would cast someone that would work well with an on-screen Afra as well. You know?
Are we still going for?
We need that.
Are we still going for Chloe Bennett?
I still love it, but I'm sure there are other choices out there. I haven't. No, I still want Chloe Bennett for sure.
Yeah. I just want her to play Afra. It's nothing sophisticated. Just a want and a need.
And Young, it's not about being good at the game. No one's good at it. We're supposed to, I will say though, we have made them a bit easier, a bit less pedantic.
They're still pedantic
this time around. Oh yeah.
I need to win so I can get that poster. Hey, so okay, we have made adjustments to how we formulate the statements. They are still pedantic, but they are not as pedantic as before, where we are getting hung up on singular words. The statements we are using now is very much focused on incorrect statements as a whole. So we won't get lost in the weeds for, define over describe or stuff like that. The incorrect statements will always be Star Wars related. It will not be like a predicate or a verb or an adjective. It will be of Star Wars in nature. So as long as you know that, you have a shot. Do I still have to wait until you finish reading the question? No, you don't have to wait. But at least this time around, we are dealing with latency with Becca. So I think in the spirit of fairness, we would give Becca the first shot at each statement. I think if everyone can agree to that kind of like that code of honor, to give Becca the first the first shot. Seemingly because Becca can't raise their hand in real time. There's delay. So as long as we can operate on that, we're good to go.
Hello, Deshine 12.
How's it going, D-Shine? I'm also currently eating a very large piece of fried chicken. Don't need that on the internet. Well, now it's on the internet.
Why not?
In certain corners of the internet, it's very welcome content. But we don't go to those places.
Yeah.
This might become one of those places eventually. We might have a mukbang Dyad at some point. Who knows?
Ooh.
I mean, she meant visually.
Not to play
People would
into
watch it.
stereotypes, but I'm known to get down on some fried chicken myself. So, you're in good company.
Okay. Let's make this a little bit of a game before we get into the Bad Batch. Becca, if we were to do a mukbang on Dyad and the Force, what would you bring to the table to eat?
Probably vegan mac and cheese because I'm vegan, but it'd be like loaded. I get it from this restaurant and it's like has like vegan meat and like Thousand Island dressing, like all this stuff on it. I'd probably eat that.
Oh, I actually had when I went to Portland, I had a vegan chili, and that wasn't bad at all. I think it was delicious. So it's interesting to think about a vegan mac and cheese. It can be done. Choco. What are you bringing?
That's, I cook a lot and I love to cook. So I could bring just about anything. I would have to go probably with my signature Choco's Tacos, which is a taco with with fried chicken in it. Imagine like a fish taco. It's like breaded fried chicken and fried fish, but it's fried chicken in there. It's still marinated in Mexican style seasoning, and I normally top it with a pineapple salsa.
Nice.
So you get some of that salty, some of that sweet. You get all the textures in there, and it is delicious. Yes, and that's if we're doing it online. In person, I would absolutely bring in some vegan options. So,
absolutely. Obi-Shan says, no Pocky chips, Choco?
I will bring a bowl of Pocky chips and just die.
Serve it to everyone else.
I'll get a bunch of regular chips.
I'll never eat that.
One of those. Just one of those, and it's like Russian roulette.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a page out of your book. I'm going to bring a couple of my Korean fried chicken. But then I would also, I think sushi makes a great mukbang. Finger food. Any kind of finger food that you do with your fingers.
I love sushi.
Yeah. I also love sushi. So finger food, sushi, and then like my Korean fried chicken I would bring. Just because that's my signature dish. I do have to learn at some point how they make the vegan options. Like if you watch Hot Ones, they have vegan option wings. I gotta learn how to make those. But
also some smashed like Parmesan crusted potatoes.
You would just make hash browns with Parmesan on it.
No, you got to do the. There's something special about, when you smash them, you drizzle in olive oil, put those in the oven, so you get like these little, they're crispy on both sides, but like soft in the middle. Good stuff.
I like Gordon Ramsay's recipe where it's like hash browns, but then you put eggs on top and you bake it.
Okay. I get down with that.
Uh,
But before this turns to an entire food episode, we should,
It could be.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but we still got to talk about Bad Batch because I thought this was a great episode. It's funny, I made a video on it, and all of my comments are so back and forth between, oh, why was this an episode? It was so boring. With this was so interesting. I was riveted throughout the end, and like they go back and forth. I think that's hilarious. I hate to break it to people, but like the Bad Batch is about adventures of the Bad Batch. So as long as we're seeing that, that's what the show promised. That's all I'm saying.
That's just true. Becca, what did you think?
At first, when I watched the episode, I was like, it's just okay. But then I was seeing everyone like making parallels to the Zeffo and Jedi Fallen Order, and I was like, wait a minute. And so I rewatched the episode and I took like a lot of notes. I'm like, this was a pretty good episode actually. Like first watching it, I was like, it's okay. But now my mind has been changed.
Was it filler, or do you think we were getting some nuggets out of here that are going to be important later?
I don't know either way, because the Bad Batch it has good filler episodes, but it also could connect to something later on. Because I feel like if they're showing this big destroying machine in one episode and then don't talk about it again, I feel like that's a little weird. I think it would be cool if they connected it to the main story.
I see that happening. I feel like there's a chance for them to pay off this Zeffo connection with the path. And they're using a lot of old Zeffo architecture or old Zeffo temples to kind of mask this network or this underground railroad of Jedi survivors. And it could connect to Quinlan Voss. It could connect to Jedi Survivor.
Yes.
and it also gives us a reason to find Gunji again. Because of all of the people that are survivors of the Purge, they would be operating under the Path's guidance to some degree. Maybe not all of them, but most of them would find this path. And I feel like Gunji would be at least in the trajectory where they're going right now. I also just appreciated the fact that this episode had a lot of lore, some random, hopefully not fake, but ipso facto lore, which will have a payoff in our real fans would know. So stay tuned for that. Also, if you plan to participate, get ready. We will have some Bad Batch stuff in there as well.
Bad Batch back. I just think that I think there's so much that we can pull potentially. I mean, like we said, we don't know where this is gonna go. But in order for the shows to watch, there needs to be more to the Bad Batch than just the journey of what's happening with Crosshair. And most of the comments I actually saw were more interested in Cody than anything else. And you're like, that's not even part of the Bad Batch like story. Anyways, we get to see a relationship developing between Omega and like one of the first women she's ever like got to talk to, who is super adventurous. This is the second time we've seen Omega pick up something that seemed like garbage but was actually a meaningful object, meaning she has a knack for this sort of thing. And on a darker note, we have to acknowledge that Omega's gonna outlive the Bad Batch. She's already older than all of them. So
yeah.
what's going to happen in the future? Well, she has a knack for this sort of adventure. She has a friend that does it. She has a desire to do that. I can see her joining Fee's crew, and eventually running it. And also in the previous episode, we established that we knew Sid had a dark past, but we just didn't realize how dark. And big dude's like, watch out, she will betray you. And who would they turn to? Well, Fee has connections. She knows places that are off the grid, not on any map. I think that'd be great, like you said, for the path, but also for the Bad Batch to hide themselves.
Yeah.
I can see the setting up a lot.
The likelihood of Omega tagging along with Afra.
Yeah, I would love them to be like, we need an archaeologist on this. Like,
what do you think, Becca?
Because I've been thinking about how, the Bad Batch are much older, and she's definitely going to outlive them, and what that's going to look like. I know a lot of people have been saying maybe she'll be in the Book of Boba Fett.
That's going to be an
but
OnlyFans
I think that would be really interesting. But I don't know
$20 truckload of ramen. Musical notes. Shots. Musical notes. What's up, everybody?
Sorry, Becca. Finish your thoughts.
But I'm curious to see, because having her with, because I noticed that she's been trying to copy Fee too, like she did with Hunter in the first season. Like, they were both sitting with their legs propped up, and she wants to go hunt for treasure. Like, she's copying the people that she admires. So I wouldn't be surprised if she ended up doing more pirate stuff. Maybe she meets Hondo along the way. Who knows?
Ooh, yeah, I would
awesome.
Love that. Any excuse to include Hondo in anything.
Also, DePaul Conspiracy Cantina. No reason to be sorry. It's just funny because we have a bit of lag right now. Absolutely appreciate it. Shots. We're awesome at Celebration, and hopefully we'll do it again.
Absolutely.
We always appreciate it. Also follow Conspiracy Cantina. They are doing a little giveaway. If you want to get tickets, now it's not including a plane ride and a hotel, but tickets for Celebration Europe. So definitely check out Conspiracy Cantina.
Yeah, that's at least one less thing to worry about in terms of expenditures. So go subscribe to Conspiracy Cantina. Also check them out. They've just started going live again. And the Dyad was on there as well with Brooke or B Dazzler. So go check that episode out as well. As far as like filler and story-wise, I still think this is all connected. And I feel like this is a way for them to set up something grander in scale rather than going through the story beats sequentially. Because, we now know, or at least I looked it up, there's 16 episodes and we're still less than halfway through the season. So there is a lot of story to tell. And this way, we get to see all of it rather than a truncated version that can fit into 10 episodes or 8. So I feel like I'm personally having to step back from my usual quandary of is this filler or not, and think to myself, how could this be connected? And it could be connected in the fact that it is fleshing out these characters and making us love them and connect with them much more, especially Omega. And we'll just see it. We'll see it pay off at the end there.
Yeah, and for myself, I honestly did get bored with the first season of The Bad Batch. It's relatively low on my list, so I always say first episode was fantastic, last episode was fantastic. I wasn't in love with the middle of it, but this time around, I've been intrigued by these episodes more than the first episode. But sorry, how do you feel about it, Becca?
I was more into the Bad Batch in the first season than I am this season. I think just because I was more involved fandom-wise with the Bad Batch. This time around, I haven't been posting about it as much, but I loved a lot of the episodes, but I did feel like a lot of them, I mean, filler episodes are important, especially with animation, like that's something that's going to happen, but some of it, like I was frustrated that we didn't get a lot of Crosshair in the first season, so I'm hoping this season that changes, because I want to see more of his arc and his story. I know a lot of people don't like Crosshair.
Oh, Crosshair's my favorite.
But I'm hoping for some sort of redemption, hopefully. He's my favorite too.
Just have trouble with how he talks because it's very odd.
Yeah.
But you know, we like to like the complexity in character, right? Crosshair has a bit of an inner struggle going on right now, and I think we, Becca, you and I both want him to find his way, and it's an interesting story to follow. You know, and I think throughout this long season, we may get long arcs, maybe 3-episode arcs with Crosshair, and I think eventually we'll get a payoff in the end with him. But fingers crossed. Oh, Brian just says, I hope Crosshair just gets worse and worse. Brian, I'm about to
The whole
ban
show's
you.
just Crosshair.
That's valid too.
being
That's
lonely.
valid too, though. Sometimes villains just need to get worse and worse, or antagonists, or morally gray characters.
Yeah, that is narratively valid too. I think what surrounds Crosshair though is more elements of dissonance with what he thinks of the Empire and where his loyalties lie. So I don't see him getting worse and worse. Given what we just saw with like the barracks being all dour and musty, and him being alone, and all of the clones that seemingly have this pristine allegiance and obeisance to the Empire going AWOL, or are they? Like, what's happening to them? What do you think about that, Becca? Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think the clones are going AWOL all of a sudden? Do you think Cody has gone AWOL, or is there something afoot? Or 2 feet?
I hope there's not. I mean, but it's the Empire, so like, you never know. Like, if they see anyone hesitating and not following orders, like, to the book, they will get rid of you. But I also would hope that Cody just kind of realized this is not something that I want to support, so I'm gonna get out of here real quick before they can kill me. So I'm hoping it's that and not clones being executed.
The way I feel about it is, I think in order for Crosshair to have his full existential crisis, he has to be betrayed by the Empire undeniably, like at his core, right? The way to do that, narratively speaking, is if they keep putting him in different clone squadrons. When he says, you ever notice how clones tend to disappear around you? What if it's them reading his reports after, being like, okay, that clone is likely going to defect, and they're taking him, they're hiding him under Mount Tantus, in sort of clone prison or something like that. That, I think, would be a big enough betrayal for him to be like, well, I was doing this out of loyalty to my brothers, you know, and I thought they crossed me, not the other way around. I think that would be enough to like force him to make a choice.
Yeah. D-Shine says Crosshair is choosing his way of the Empire. If you could elaborate on that, D-Shine, please do so. I think that's an interesting thought process. Obishan says, I think if Cody was executed, Rampart would have just come out and said it. There's an element of cunning from Rampart's side. I don't
Not
think
necessarily.
I don't think he would come out and just say it, but there is something behind him saying or making that remark to Crosshair, like, oh, all of these clones around you seem to just disappear. And that could be him implying as much, but we don't know. The question remains.
Rampart is all about Rampart's reputation within the Empire and his goal of climbing up the chain of command.
Yeah.
And I can see him doing whatever sort of manipulation or murder in cases that we've seen in order to facilitate it.
Yeah. All right. We're going to start taking live calls now, and in building up to our real fans would know. So if you guys have any additional thoughts on the Bad Batch and the story so far, click the link in the chat that's pinned in the top and come join us to talk about it. We will be playing for that Bad Batch celebration exclusive poster. And as you come in, you can give your thoughts on our current discussion. As Young says, I think Rampart is getting Crosshair up so he can get rid of all the clones at once, or setting Crosshair up, which is an interesting angle. Do you think that, Becca, do you think Rampart just has an agenda against clones, like, overall?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? It lagged.
Do you think that Rampart has an agenda against the clones as a whole?
Like Krell did.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. You can tell by the way he's doing things and saying things. It's very particular. Like, I don't remember what the name of the clone was, but when he wouldn't give the report, he wouldn't change the report, Rampart was like, okay, then I'm gonna get rid of you, because that clearly to me says that I have an agenda and you're not helping me further that agenda, so I need to get rid of you.
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. We have our first caller joining us for the second time. Is this person? Hold on.
That was somewhat anticlimactic.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
Tommy P for the second time joining us.
Yeah.
Just keep
I
in
really
mind. Keep in mind,
I'm sorry,
Tommy,
go ahead.
we're working with latency with Becca, so if she comes in with something to say, it's most likely late, so give way, so to speak. Unless there's a lag on both of you guys.
It's cleared up a bit now,
All right.
but
Yeah, what'd you think of the episode?
I really enjoyed it. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, so this episode was right up my alley.
Right on. Do you have any thoughts on anything we've talked about so far?
I really appreciate what you guys are doing regarding the discussion of this episode, and yeah, I really love the cool tall neck like mech thing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's going to be
tall neck.
important later.
It's like I'm used to climbing on top of them and then, you know, hacking them. Okay, one thing none of us has mentioned is how horrifying it was watching that little droid die.
Yeah.
Oh, Mel.
I lost it.
That droid was so
Droid deaths are always the worst.
That droid was so innocent.
Why is that?
And it was so overkill. It was just like
Why are
we got
droid deaths
Kamehameha
so,
into the dust.
Why are droid deaths so weirdly tragic to us?
Yeah,
Sometimes even more so than a human death, you know?
Yeah, like I was really upset when the 3 droids that were helping out Ahsoka in the series finale of the Clone Wars were all killed by the clones. That part really hurt me.
That hurt, yeah. Luckily, the blow was softened by the fact that Fee said, "Don't worry, it happens all the time. I rebuild. He'll be back." So I just
Okay. But he still died though. You know, that's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like when R2 gets blown up, that they just salvage his remains and then rebuild him, and then it's like he was never blown up, you know?
Yeah. I kind of chalk it up to the fact that Mel's just really slow. Can't escape anything.
Yeah, like what is Mel? Is she like a half astromech, half gonk droid type of thing?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I was just like, that's why you don't put feet on a droid. You need wheels or repulsors, you know?
Yeah.
Or rocket boosters?
Toto
She did her
360
best.
AZ, you need those hovering droids. Well, BD1 has feet, but is scrappy.
Yeah, he's spry, you know? He's a little whippersnapper, you know?
Yeah, BB-8 has a.
And he
tendency
latches
to
onto
swing.
Cal most of the time.
This is true.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
But I mean, he did kind of squirrel his way around to Vader, and he did his thing. BD1 is S tier for sure. We do have another caller calling in for the
BD1
first
solos.
time, I do believe. Let's bring in Dominic.
Ooh.
Hello, D-Shine or D-Shine?
All right, hold on, I gotta mute the stream on my end because
How's it going?
it's going great actually. I just got off with going live with my friend Charlie, talking about the show too.
Oh, who's your
nice.
friend Charlie?
I think his TikTok's like it's Carolina Boy 23993. We run a podcast that goes from 7 to 8 EST.
Oh,
cool.
okay. So that's four.
What's the
that's our
podcast
pre-show.
name?
Sundari Broadcast System.
Okay, nice. I feel like Sundari is probably having some radio issues after being in class, but that's cool.
Oh yeah, just slight, just slight.
Was that again?
The show name?
Where I can find you on TikTok or you guys?
We have you can find us on YouTube, on TikTok, and Instagram. We are still trying to post frequently, but we have been just posting on Saturdays on YouTube from 7 to 8, just talking about it. That's when most of us are available.
And do you guys have? Am I just gonna follow Charlie or you?
You can you can follow me. We have
This has been done multiple times before.
Yeah. That's my hiccup one.
Yeah.
There's Bark.
All right, I followed you back.
All right, thank you.
Any thoughts on Bad Batch or what we just discussed?
I think it's already been said before, but this episode had a lot of Indiana Jones feeling to it. I haven't myself gotten around to watch the Indiana Jones movies yet. Keyword being yet. I will get to around it eventually. But I like that feeling of treasure on being on a treasure hunt. I like how Fee was more experienced, knew what is going to get. If it can't be this, then it's just either just a door or it's just you just gotta find a way around the puzzle.
Yeah, I wonder how Fee does it alone, especially with Mel being so slow.
Yeah.
Probably the same way Indiana Jones was.
You mean just just sheer luck?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Young says, pave the way for national treasure.
Whatever works, right?
I did get that too from this episode. At some point, Nick Cage would come in and say, "That's not the Grand Pearl of Novak. That's the Declaration of Independence." Young, are you going to join us for this Real Fans Would Know? Are you going to try to grab this poster? We're getting ready to head into this game. Just to remind everyone, it's this poster. And you can only get it at Celebration 2022, which is where I got it. And so if you win Real Fans Would Know, you get that poster. And I will frame it for you guys in the same way I framed it for DePaul for his bare ass wall. I'm just going to keep on dragging him for that.
Although, if he hung a giant bear ass on the wall, that would also.
That would solve all your problems.
Yep. You can also use it as a furry cushion.
In case you have those moments where you kind of want to never mind. I'm not going there.
Fuzzy
Now I want to
cheeks.
know.
Fuzzy cheeks.
Yeah,
That's all I
fuzzy
gotta
cheeks.
say.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all I gotta
fuzzy.
say.
Well, okay. Becker wants to know in case you want to, take things up against the wall. I'll say that much. It's cushioned in that regard. Obi-Sean says that was a decent Nick Cage impression. I have a really good Nicolas Cage. That's all I do. Whenever I sign off, I just speak in Nicolas Cage's voice and talk about the history of curse words.
That's really good.
Why are you exclamation pointing my name?
Because of what you just said, I was just choosing to ignore it. Just no, it's not.
Becca wanted to know.
You did nothing wrong. It's fine.
We're
I
all
was
adults
curious.
Half, almost.
here. Almost. Do I have to? Do I need a permission slip from you?
No. No, it's
It's fine. All right.
I'm trying to think of other things like the episode. It's one of those things where it's there's so much information to talk about, yet at the moment you can't think of it.
Oh yeah.
I had someone in.
I wrote 2 pages of notes about the episode.
Oh, what do you
dang.
got? Is there anything
Yeah,
that we
what
missed?
did we miss? Yeah.
I wrote down about the score when and I call it the Mecha Zeffo tank. If you watch Legend of Korra, Kuvira's Mecha tank, it reminded me of that. And I was talking about how the music was very this is dangerous, this is disastrous, this could cause a lot of problems, and it made me think of like Legend of Korra, and I also thought of Gigantomachia from My Hero Academia. It just had that type of energy, so I appreciated that.
Becca, you are a cool human being. That's a lot of references.
I told you. I told you.
I think I'm having trouble with mine because for me it's not loading. I can't hear Becca at all. It's her camera is still loading for me.
Oh, what about Tommy P? Can you hear
Tom, I can hear him just fine. I can hear him just fine.
I can hear Becca just fine.
Probably just for that's probably just for me.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to be alone in that regard.
I'll have to, that's why I rely on YouTube to unmute.
Oh, she's not muted, but
No. I'll mute the volume.
It's my
on
cursed
YouTube. I have
Wi-Fi.
a stream on YouTube that way I can hear her.
Oh, okay. You're dealing with like a multi-screen situation going on.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. All right. If that's enough bare ass on the wall, we'll move on to our Real Fans Would Know segment. Now, just to get the rules out of the way, you cannot reattempt a guess unless someone else has gotten it wrong. You can also guess only up to 3 times. And for the sake of Becca and the delay that we're dealing with, Becca will have first shot at the statements, which is, I know it's an advantage, but these are very pedantic statements, and there's no telling if anyone will get them right. But with that said, the winner of this one...
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous.
And of course, you have to answer with Real Fans Would Know.
Exactly. It is inspired by Actually. So let me get everyone's names on the board. And...
Well, I'll just say that when the music picked up like that, it made me think of Fern Gully when the machine was coming through and like knocking all the trees down. That's how it made me feel.
Can I say one more thing about Bad Batch?
Sure.
Yeah. About that episode. Charlie mentioned that the machine was only going after like technical machines. Because it went after Mel, and then it was aiming towards the Marauder.
Mm-hmm.
And the first 2 shots could just be like warning shots, or just test shots, just to make sure the blaster is still working.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and if they're anything like the Zeffo Guardians, they're just not good at aiming, so they just. Like,
I mean, yeah, it could just be their tomb protectors, because
they really are good at aiming.
Giant, it's like they made giant automatons to protect their like tombs.
yeah.
I still don't think the aesthetic of the technology is very Zeffo-like, but the aesthetic of the excluding the disc and the structure of the head doesn't match it. And so they might even predate Zeffo, and Zeffo took from them. Which is why the Guardians didn't know how to aim, but this one did. And it's larger.
Is it the like the Collectors? Because the head kind of resembled the Collectors from Mass Effect.
Could
I need
be.
to start playing Mass Effect.
Me too.
Assuming direct control.
All right, let's get started with this. Real Fans Would Know. Starting with our first statement, Becca, you have first shot. And then after she guesses incorrectly, if she guesses incorrectly, Tommy P and Dominic raise your hands at will. So here we go. The first statement of Real Fans.
Wow.
The first statement of Real Fans Would Know. In this week's episode of The Bad Batch Entombed, Fee enlists the help of the crew to follow a compass that points to the Kaldar trinary system. Throughout the episode, we learn about several artifacts, including the Blade of Zakata Par, the Grand Pearl of Novak, the Chalice of the Kingdoms of Elway, the Circlet of Katraval, and the Heart of the Mountain. Becca, your go first.
Oh, this is hard. Oh God, I don't feel like a real fan because and I just watched the episode like a couple hours ago.
It's completely fine. This is meant to be
I'll
super,
pass.
super pedantic.
And I'll see what other people say, and maybe I can piggyback off of them.
Okay,
Smart
so
move.
that's a pass. Raise your hands. Dominic.
Real fans would know. I believe it's the real fans would know it isn't. She did not mention about the artifact, the Grand Pearl of Novak, because, and either that or it's not the Circlet of Katravall, because that's not another why would that?
I mean, you gotta pick one thing to
I'll go
cover.
for the Circlet of Katravall, because that's the.
That is correct.
Oh damn.
So these aren't things that are mentioned in relation to Scarinal or where they are, but these are just things that she mentions throughout the episode, right? Throughout the episode, we learn about them. And the Circlet of Katravall is something that I made up. So good job, Dominic, for getting that first statement correct. That's one on the board.
The Grand Pearl of Novak was what she was talking about at the very beginning of the episode.
That's true. I was getting confused because I saw the K name of the planet, and then I was looking without looking back. I was trying to match it up because why would they be going to the Calder Trinary system if not for the Circlet, and why go for the heart of the mountain? But I still got it right, so
that's some good Sherlocking.
I mean, yeah.
It's like when you do the math wrong, but you get the right answer.
Yeah.
Wait, if 2 plus 2 equals 6, then it has to be the Circlet of Katravall. Okay. Next statement.
Because it equals fish.
Next statement. Again, Becca has first shot. Here we go, Choco.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm watching the stream. It's a lot slower. In Revenge of the Sith, Mace Windu takes on the task of confronting Palpatine to arrest him if he refuses to end the war and return his emergency powers. Palpatine responds by pulling out his lightsaber, screaming, and twirling across the room. He impaled Eth Koth and slashed Agent Kolar before they could even put up their defenses.
Real fans would know that Mace Windu was going there already to arrest him. I don't think it was if Palpatine refuses. I think they already came to the conclusion that he probably was not going to do that.
That is incorrect. So they were going to give him the option. He immediately and very clearly said no.
Tommy P.
He impales Agan Kolar, and then he slashes. I'm sorry. Let me start over. Real fans would know that when Palpatine draws his lightsaber, he impales Agan Kolar and then slashes Sassy Tin before they could even put up their defenses, despite the fact that when he attacks, you can clearly see that Agan Kolar's head is turning away from his opponent. So it's like... So yeah, that's my view. That
is correct. Eth Koth.
I didn't even know that's what their names were.
Yeah, Eth Koth wasn't there. Eth Koth wields a green lightsaber, and so does Master Sassy Tin. So I think either Element or Choco just swapped one of those two out because they both have the green lightsaber.
Oh, I thought that was Eth Koth.
No, Agan Kolar has a blue lightsaber.
It looks like Eth Koth.
I never knew that there was a separate character. Interesting.
I mean,
Eth Koth survives Order 66 and becomes a priest on a planet for a time.
That's true.
Bad things happen to him. So
I love if he was. He was like friends with
lovely
or something.
We also would have accepted that it was not Eithkoth. But dang, I appreciate the commitment right there, Tommy P. Just going out and just going in. That's one on the board for Tommy P as well. We go on to the next statement, which is the hierarchy of the Nile is divided into 5 ranks: tempest runners, storms, clouds, squalls, and strikes, all led by a position known as the Eye. This position was originally created when Asgard Row provided access to the paths, special ways to access and travel through hyperspace. This one submitted by channel friend Cal4. Becca?
This is gonna be hard. I've only read Light of the Jedi, so I'm gonna have to like pull something out of thin air. Because I know that the pass and the ire thing. I read the Light of the Jedi like so long ago, and I have not read any High Republic books since then. I just see High Republic Twitter and what everyone else is tweeting.
It's a wonderful place.
I'm gonna just say that Squalls is not one of the ranks.
How would you phrase
Real
that?
fans would know Squalls is not one of the ranks.
That is correct. One on the
Well
board
done.
for Becca.
Wow.
Nice.
I'm so proud. Kels would be proud of me.
She would. Okay, on to the next statement. Choco.
In The Force Awakens, when Kylo Ren first meets Lor Santeca, he remarks, "Look how old you are." To which Lor Santeca responds, "Something far worse has happened to you." Kylo Ren then demands the map to Skywalker. As Lor Santeca refuses, Kylo Ren finally cuts him down in front of Poe Dameron. What are you seeing there, Becca?
I'm gonna go with real fans would know Kylo Ren does not say, "Look how old you are."
That is correct.
That is incorrect.
That is correct.
Oh, that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, "Look how old you've become." That is another
It's
point
that.
for-
Oh, it's that one. It's
Yeah.
that type of question. Sorry. I
Well,
didn't mean-
whenever we do quotes, it's always
I love
about.
the sequels. So,
Whenever we
Same
do
here.
quotes, it's always about what the quote was rather than words. So yeah, that is the one. Choco,
I didn't even know he was a Senteca. That's interesting.
Choco, you said you thought it was incorrect. What did you think was incorrect about the statement prior to that?
For some reason, in my mind, they had taken Poe out already, and he wasn't cut down in front of Poe.
Well,
That's what I was thinking.
technically, Poe was there, and then after he gets slashed down, he's dragged in.
Yeah, like Poe doesn't make his presence known until after Lor Santeca has been cut down.
Yeah.
But-
Okay.
You're right about the quote, for sure.
Mhm.
My bad.
So next statement. Which one are we on? Okay,
I think
this one.
5.
You are correct. That's not a point though.
Not a point. Yeah. I didn't say real fans would know.
Here's the next statement. In the book of Boba Fett, in the aftermath of the battle for the city, Boba Fett walks down the street with Fennec Shand as he receives the gratitude of the people. Eventually, he receives the Joba fruit, but elects to give it to Black Chrysanthemum. Becca, you're up first.
real fans would know it wasn't a Joba fruit.
That is correct. That's another point for Becca.
Heck yeah.
And I think the next time
I have an advantage. It's my bad Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we should probably.
I do have this Bad Batch poster already, so.
Aw, you do? You were. Oh, I'm sorry I missed you at Celebration.
Someone gave it to me.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't go. Someone mailed it to me.
All right. So here's the deal. Before this gets any more out of hand, let's say after I complete the statement, Becca, you have 20 seconds, and if there is nothing from you, we will go to hands. Okay? So,
That's fair.
So I will complete the sentence, or Choco will complete the sentence, and then I will count down. And then after 20 seconds, I'll say hands, and that's when everyone can raise their hands. Okay. So Choco, here's the next statement. Get prepared to read it.
All right. In The Last Jedi, Finn explains to Poe and Rose that they will need to slice the security clearance codes, which are re-scrambled every hour and encoded with a biohexaderm encryption. Maz Kanata is then able to suggest the codebreaker in the middle of a Union dispute. I don't know why this is such a low resolution. Okay, there we go.
I don't know. I'm passing to someone else.
All right, hands. Dominic.
Real fans would know Maz Kanata was not in the middle of a Union dispute. She was in the middle of a battle when having this holo call, suggesting the codebreaker.
That is incorrect.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm. It was a battle, but she says
it's a life. Yeah.
Wait, the battle was the Union dispute?
Yes.
What?
Tommy, you got an answer in you?
Real fans would know that Maz Kanata wasn't a part of the conversation until after Finn, Poe, and Rose contact her, and I believe that it's Poe who suggests it. Like this whole statement phrases it as if Maz Kanata is already part of the room, but she doesn't become a part of the room until after.
I will say that's not part of it, right? It doesn't mean it's happening all at once, but it is what happened.
Yeah. I have another one, but I don't think it's going to work. Real fans would know that the First Order's clearance codes are biohexacrypt and re-scrambled at every hour. I don't remember them saying biohexaderm.
That is correct. That is a point for Tommy P.
Heck yeah.
Biohexaderm would mean something that is quite gross and to the skin. So
yeah,
isn't like like a.
I was just thinking of like a Clearasil offshoot brand called Biohexaderm. I don't know.
So all I could think of was taxidermy.
I came so close to saying hexacrypt because my screen hadn't bumped up the resolution yet. So I was having trouble reading it, and I was like, that doesn't say hexacrypt. What does that say? Yeah.
All right, so we got Becca with 3, Tommy P with 2, Dominic with 1. Let's move on to the next statement, Choco, after you're done shaking.
In the Clone Wars episode, The Academy, food supplies are being spoiled all across Mandalore. Ahsoka is enlisted as a substitute instructor to personally tutor Cadet Corky, Amos, Lagos, and Sunny. In the end, it was revealed that the real culprit behind the food supplies being poisoned was Prime Minister Olmec.
Becca, you've got 20.
real fans would know it wasn't just those cadets. Like, she was teaching like a larger class.
That is technically true, but not what we're looking for. Dominic.
Reels fans would know the food supplies being spoiled weren't across Mandalore. They started at the academy.
That is also technically true, but not what we're looking for. The statement, the statement as it is written is true. There are things within it that are incorrect.
It was.
Well, we have to give an option for someone else before you go again.
Okay.
Nada for me. I don't know.
All right. It's a free for all.
Dominic?
Real fans would know it wasn't just Prime Minister Almec. Didn't he have help with it was the Pikes?
That is incorrect.
I'll take a guess.
Go for it.
Real fans would know Ahsoka wasn't a substitute instructor. I think she was just there as a mentor, not like a substitute teacher, because she's not qualified to do something like that.
That is also incorrect. She did sign on to be a substitute. We will give everyone one more attempt. I realize now how pedantic this one is. Tommy.
Yes. Real fans would know that that Prime Minister Almec wasn't necessarily behind the food being spoiled, but he was behind the corruption within Mandalore that was taking place. The food being spoiled was a consequence of the corruption.
That is incorrect.
That's actually what I was thinking.
You guys are. I'm probably gonna get real hate.
Yeah, I'm
for
at a
this
loss.
one. All right, Dominic, it's your last one.
Real fans would know.
You're gonna get canceled.
Lagos was not a part of this. Was not part of the group of students that Ahsoka personally tutored.
You guys are almost there. So, Lagos was one of the cadets. Sony wasn't. It was actually Sony A.
Sony A.
Honestly, I thought her name was pronounced Sony anyway, and then you just misspelled it.
It could be. You could have said it that way, as it is spelled IEE, but it was Sony A, and I realize now that it is quite pedantic to change it.
Yeah,
that little.
I think what really got in the way of us figuring it out was the fact that nobody says her name in that episode.
They did a few times, and I do remember it. That's
Yeah.
why I said
Corky introduces them to Ahsoka.
I only know Corky's name. I only know
I
Corky.
thought I only heard them say Corky Amos Lagos, and that was it.
Corky introduces the others, I believe.
I thought Almec introduced them.
It's time to go
He may
back
have said
and
their
rewatch this episode.
names of at least Corky's.
I just have them
Oh.
written down. I don't exactly know who said them.
Okay.
Well, I watched
we can
I
go back
watched
to
both Corruption and The Academy not that long ago, so I kind of have a better idea of what happened.
We'll give you guys all the point, which doesn't change the state of the game.
It's silver still.
All right. On to the next statement. Here we go. In The Phantom Menace, several senators are nominated as candidates for Supreme Chancellor as Finis Valorum is voted out of the seat. The candidates included Sheev Palpatine of Naboo, Bail Antilles of Alderaan, Ainley Team of Malastare, and Sio Bibble of Dantooine. Becca's got 20 seconds.
Real fans would know Sio Bibble was not one of the candidates.
That is correct. That is 5 for Becca.
That was just a guess, too. I had no idea. I was like, I
what-
need to
what
come up
was
with
incorrect
something.
about the statement?
Sio Bibble.
Seal Bibble was the advisor to Padme, the one who goes, "It's a trick, so no reply." The death toll is catastrophic.
The death
He's that
must
guy. Yeah, he was
contact
the-
me.
He is the governor of Naboo.
Gotcha.
Like also, as Obi-Wan Kenobi says in the chat, he's not from Dantooine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
We would
yeah.
have accepted not of Dantooine. Sio Bibble's not a candidate. Either or. Those are both
Yeah, like-
statements that are incorrect.
Yeah, because at this time he's like a prisoner of Newt Gunray, right?
Yeah, he's having a bad go of it.
Yeah, that.
So as it stands, Becca, I'm gonna give you the choice here since you already have the poster. Would you like to make this a match between Tommy P and Dominic since they are both 1 point from each other?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, you can still